does leadership and chess have in common? The commonality between leadership and chess is strategy. You always want to use strategic thinking and long-term thinking as well. You base your moves 18 moves, 11 moves, 10 moves ahead. You don't move out of anxiety or out of immediate response. You never become emotional or agitated or upset. Why? Because the best thinking doesn't occur when you're emotionally induced or emotionally compromised. You always want to stay in a good state as a leader. You never want to be emotional, and Lord forbid, please don't make a decision out of emotions or out of anger. Give yourself time. Give yourself space to process and then move accordingly to the strategy and how it's going to play out in the long run. You always want to move intentionally and deliberately and have a long-term reason for your moves, even though rookies will not understand it. They'll say, why did he do that? And they'll be on the sidelines speculating from an armchair. But you can't judge an operation by an armchair or from an armchair's perspective. As a leader, it is very important that we utilize long-term vision, long-term goals, and strategy. So that is how leadership is like chess. Sometimes you have to move differently. So I want you to think of the different pieces of chess. There are some pieces that move swift and direct, and there are others that are more elusive, like the knight, or sideline, or they move sideways, like the rook. You do not always move completely across the board like the pawn. You might move slow at times when the situation calls for it, or you may be swift and take command like the queen at different times in different situations, depending on what the atmosphere or what the situation calls for, the climate and the conditions of the immediate situation at hand. So what is one thing about leadership? Leadership is resilient. Leadership is swift and changeable. It's mutable to the situation. It doesn't only move one way. If you've only got one way of seeing things or one way of operating, then when you get hit, you're gonna